When I first dipped into the science of spontaneous reference and placebo effect in 2009, a journey that would have led to what would have become Mind Over Medicine, including several TEDx conferences, 2 national public television specials, and the Total Institute of Health Medicine, a program to raise awareness and educate health professionals. I was lucky to be naive about the depth of the rabbit hole through which I had to go, as the handful that impressed me at the time dragged me around the world looking for answers. I now have the opportunity to look at the research behind medical intelligence and share this revised edition of the book, which has become a classic for those looking for a cure for illness, injury, or trauma. I see the book more as reason over medicine, or perhaps even as consciousness is medicine. I no longer believe that healing is a purely spiritual process, but I believe that the expansion of your mind has the potential to heal mortal diseases and change your whole life, and this book will help you in doing so. It was not until 2007, when I left my job as a regular doctor in the hospital, that I discovered bestsellers published and devoured by the public, such as Love, Medicine, and Miracles by Bernie Siegel, MD Relaxation Reaction by Herbert Benson, MD Caring for the Body, Caring for the Mind by John Borisenko, MD D or Wisdom of the Kitchen Table, written by the doctor who became my mentor, Rachel Naomi Lehman, MD. In contrast, I was raised by a strictly skeptical medical father in a family of Methodist priests and missionaries, where I was taught to separate science and spirituality at all costs. Although this approach to healing is not for everyone, after nearly a decade of reactions from people who felt obliged to integrate the science, doctrine, and practice of what they will read in this book into their own recipes for optimal health, I can say that if you say yes to the call from within to begin this type of healing journey, your life will never be the same. As part of my research for this book, I am printing this revised edition, Sacred Medicine Doctoral Search, to unravel the mysteries of wonders that I have studied with shamans in Peru, Qigong masters in China, Balinese healers, Hawaiian kahunas, a guru from Eastern religious traditions, indigenous doctors and women, scientists and physicists from all over the world, as well as energy healers, trauma surgeons and healers from my own country for nearly 10 years. For many years, I have taught the 6 phases of self-healing differently when I taught doctors and healers at the Institute of Holistic Medicine how to make it easier for patients, but my updated adaptations were only available to those who participated in my training programs. As you will see, if you read this book carefully, I have never been and never will be anti-Western medicine. I am infinitely grateful for the medical technology and fully support its wise but not blind use, because my patients have experienced what my friend, cancer researcher Dr. Kelly Turner, calls radical remission, wanted to enter the healing process to add new knowledge to what you learned in medical school. The truth is that we are involved in creating our reality, and this book is designed to help you do whatever it takes to be actively involved in your healing. But it is naive to believe that you have life, death, or healing under control. If that were the case, I could keep my old worldview doctors control life and death, but only now should we help patients control their consciousness and practice good medicine. Whether they need advanced therapies for existing mental or physical illnesses, or whether they will help prepare a more resilient body for rediscovery. I hope you will see that this new edition of the old classics is exactly what the doctor has prescribed. We all suffer from what Buddhist psychiatrist Mark Epstein, MD, calls the trauma of everyday life, a trauma of development in a situation that prevents us from functioning in accordance with our medicine.